So how do children learn grammar? Well, some people say that grammar is so incredibly complicated and difficult that children can't possibly learn it from the input alone. Instead, these people assume that humans are born with some knowledge of grammar, such as verbs and nouns, and that helps children to figure out the grammar of their native language. Others think it's unlikely that children are born with knowledge of grammar. Instead, they think that human mind is an amazing computer that can compute and extract information from their environment, and that there are lots of mental processes that take place in the minds of children when they decode the grammar of their native language. These people assume that it's really important that children get exposed to language in various contexts, and children extract grammar from that input. And importantly, when parents are interacting with children, they use a specific register or speech, and this speech style is very slow, it has exaggerated intonation, lot of repetition, and very short sentences, for instance, making it easy for the child to understand what's being said. In addition to input, children need to figure out the grammar of their native language by figuring out certain patterns in their language. Now, humans are amazing pattern finders. On the screen here, I've created 3 lines of patterns consisting of X's or crosses, some letters, and some symbols. What I'd like you to do is stop the recording just for a moment and see if you can figure out what the next item in that pattern is. Okay, I hope that it didn't take you very long, and I think that it probably was quite easy for you to figure out that the next item in the first line is a big cross. The next item in the second line is an M. And the next item in the line of symbols, on the third line, is a lightning bolt. So pattern finding is really easy for adults, but also children engage in these kind of processes when they figure out the grammar of their native language. So hopefully these examples demonstrate that pattern finding is quite easy for humans, including children, and these are the kind of processes that children use when they figure out the grammar of their native language. Humans are very good at making analogies, which means that we can see similarities between different things that are not exactly the same. So what you can see on the screen are 2 boxes of cats. And if you look at the box on the left-hand side, you can see 4 rows of cats. And if you look at those rows, you can see that there's a pattern there. If you then look at the box on the right, I'd like you to try and identify which one of those 4 rows of cats correspond to the rows of cats on the left side in the box. So which ones are kind of the same, they have the same pattern. So you probably notice that the 2 bottom rows of cats in the box on the right side of the screen correspond to the cats on the left side. So it's kind of like 1 cat and then 2 cats that are the same. So there's 2 different types of cats, 1 of one kind and 2 of the other kind. And that's the pattern. But as you can see, none of the cats, none of the rows are exactly the same. So the cats are always different, but you can still see the underlying pattern of cats, of kind of being A, B, B. So there's 1 kind of a cat and 2 of a different kind of cat. Well, children use these kind of processes when they figure out grammar as well. So they can see that sentences, or they can figure out that sentences like Tim sent a letter to his mum, or Mary gave a box of chocolates to her husband, don't have the same words, but the underlying pattern of someone transmitting something to someone else is still the same. And children can start grouping these kinds of sentences into the same kind of sentence structure and start understanding how the grammar of their native language works. To recap, the acquisition of grammar is demanding, and children use various processes in that task.